Jake's red truck, La Mamalona, the original Mamalona of this channel. He's been driving it around for a while. For those of you that are not familiar with the channel, Jake long owns Power by the Hour. He built this 2020 regular cab, 5-liter 10R80 truck with a single turbo kit. I shouldn't say turbo kit. He made a custom turbo, single turbo for the truck, and he was going to offer it as a kit. After doing some math, he realized there's no money in this motherfucker, so it's the one-off. So that's why you guys haven't seen me really put out a lot of truck content, because the plan was to get that kit on my car or truck, and he's not making it, so there goes that. So he asked me the other day if I could do some fine-tuning on his truck. He said he's having some hot restart issues, and we want to dial in the shifting on the 85 with 11 psi. The truck made about 780 rear-wheel horsepower at 11 psi on the 85, and that's the setting he raced me in when we raced the Vortec 19 versus his truck. So my plan today is get it on pump gas, or it is on pump gas currently, drive it around, you know, dial in any quirks or anything like that, work on the hot restart, and once that's done, I'll take that specific tune and I'll convert it over to E85, and I'll see if there's anything that needs to be tweaked so that we can improve the 60 to 130 time on that truck, or even the quarter-mile performance. The nice thing is it's a 4-wheel drive. It's a beautiful day outside. We're gonna have grip, so we'll be able to drag you some hits and see how everything goes. So let's go over to Power by the Hour. Alrighty, here we go. So we're here at Power by the Hour, and I am with Jake's truck. For those of you that don't know, again, this is the original truck, the Mamalona, that started it all, and I wanted to go ahead and make a little bit of content with it. So what we're gonna do is take it for a drive. I know it needs fuel, so that's a good thing. I'm gonna do a cold start, get your video on the cold start, get your sights and sounds, because this thing does whistle and make all the whooshing noises. And let's do a cold start video right now. Situation going on here, and it's remotely mounted, obviously, so the engine bay you wouldn't see anything, but yeah, the turbo setup is way up there, covered up in a blanket, and so, you know, obviously in terms of tuning, you know, it's got the stock wide pipe, so the stock wide pipe is in the front. If you look at the engine bay, there's nothing going on. You do see a charge pipe situation right here. It's a little on the low side, but it's no lower than the gas tank. We already checked that. So that's no lower than the gas tank. And you can see that it's got the intercooler. It's a Bell intercooler in there. So, okay, according to Jake, the truck has a 7-pound spring in it right now. And the boost controller is off. When you turn the boost controller on, it's set to 11 psi. So on pump gas, obviously, we're gonna keep the boost controller off. But what I wanted to do is give you a little sights and sounds of how the truck sounds and everything. Get the windows down, see how this thing sounds. Not gonna get on it too hard. I mean, it makes all the turbo sounds if you're into that sort of thing. I mean, who isn't, right? It is laggier feeling than NA, believe it or not, until it goes into boost. So yeah, so once it comes into boost, it actually, you know, feels really good. You can tell that the 10R80 is kind of like trying to decide shift schedule based on probably air load. And what I like to do is have a real predictable shift schedule. I want it to go wah, bah, bah, and not necessarily have it ignore the air load, but I definitely want it to be more consistent than it currently is. So let me drive it for a little bit and I'll get you my thoughts once I kind of like, you know, listen and get a feel for the truck. Okay, just filled up, and Jake complains of hot restarts, so let's data log that. Key on, set up the data logger with the good old-fashioned N-Gauge. Gotta love this device. This device is just awesome. 10, 11 years old and still kicking everything's ass that has come after it, like by far. And if you don't believe me, you're not paying attention. Sorry. Diagnostics, data logging, yeah, F250 normal mode because we ain't racing. And let's see if the hot restarts are an issue according to Jake. So I'll data log it, even though the wide bands don't turn on for at least 30 seconds. We'll see if there's anything I can spot in the log. Hey Jake, it started right up. All right, let's keep driving it, see if it becomes an issue later, but it started right up. Shifting is crisp. Not really feeling any issues. Okay, so that was unexpected. So I just gave it about a half throttle and it lit up the tires, and I was like, really? I did disable advanced track. So the pump gas tune has the better, firmer shifting tuning in it. So I don't really have to do anything to the pump gas tune, according to Jake. Honestly, if I could just make this exact same tune, convert it over to E85, and dial in the wide open throttle shift points, should be good. That blow-off valve is super loud. It kind of reminds me of a diesel truck, to be honest with you. But let's see if we can get it the hot restart issue and logged, fixed. And if nothing's wrong, I'm literally gonna take this pump gas tune, convert it to E85, and do watt stuff with it. First I have to test out the 60 to 130 and with E85 in it and see how it does. We want to be in the low 7s because that's what it was before, and then see if we can improve on the same exact boost so that we're not cheating and adding boost to the whole situation. So I've driven the truck about 10 miles, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't find any issues with it. I've done a couple of hot restarts, and I don't know under what conditions it's happening for him, but it's not happening for me. Now, what I'm also gonna test is the brake boost. And I think this is a good example or idea, or at least a good video to remind tuners that it's a real good idea to drive every combination you tune, because sometimes what the driver is experiencing is not an issue, or they're not explaining it properly to you, right? Let's just say that. I'm gonna ask Jake if this fuel system has a check valve in it. He said it has hot restart issues, so that tells me fuel is not getting to the rails, and until it finally pressurizes the rail, makes its way to the injector, starts actually throwing fuel at it, that's when the truck starts. That's my guess. But according to him, when he flood clears it, meaning when he floors it and turns it over, it just starts. Now, two things could be happening. It's actually too rich on hot restarts, or it's so lean that it takes a very long time for the fuel to get there from the return style fuel system. This has a 4 Innovations fuel system. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop at a park that I normally frequent to do some testing. You guys will recognize it. And then I'll do a bunch of hot restarts and see if at any point it doesn't start within the first couple of cranks. Okay, so I'm not gonna wait that long. Just parked. I'm gonna do 2 or 3 cranks and see how long it takes for the truck to turn on, because it's hot restarts that have been an issue. So let's see how that goes. Let's do it again. So now I'm gonna wait 5 minutes and I'll do it again. Okay, 5 minutes have passed. Jake, there's no issue. Let's go to testing on the brake boost situation. Okay, let me just kind of ask. We all know what brake boosting is, right? Like, do I have to explain brake boosting on this channel? No? Okay, good. So we all know what brake boosting is. I am assuming we are. So the next test is going to be this. I'm going to put it in manual mode, second gear, and brake boost it. And see if I can build boost. And see if I let off the throttle after, let off the brake after brake boosting, will it build boost? So second gear, hit the brake, step on it. So let's do this. Let's brake boost it at a higher RPM. Let's say 4,500, okay? Get on the brake, give it gas. It all works perfect. I don't know what the issue is. He said it wasn't working. So second gear, 4,500. Brake, gas. So the brake boost works. I love you, Jake. I don't know what the problem is. Maybe it's just a driving style difference, but if I'm in second gear, 4,500 RPMs, and I brake boost it, the car develops boost. So I'll show you what it looks like on the tack. Okay, so manual mode. Third, second, 4,500, brake, gas, let go of the brake. Oh, seems to work fine. So I don't really have to do anything, to be honest with you. I'm really trying to like put a new tune in this truck, and I don't know what to do. So I gotta have a serious talk with Jake. That's because this is a good idea for tuners to drive the car, in my opinion. And maybe Jake, I don't know. I gotta talk with Jake. I'm not gonna prejudge Jake. Jake is a very knowledgeable guy, but I find no issue so far. So now I gotta drive it for a little bit and get rid of this gas that's in it, which is okay, and get E85 in it and do 60 to 130 stuff and dig stuff. I'm also going to do some brake boosting and four-wheel drive out of the hole to see if there's any issue there. So I've been driving the truck for a very long time. I have found 0 issues. Brake boost works great. Hot restarts are great. So I contacted Jake and I said, Jake, so when does the hot restart issue rear its ugly head? I've let it sit for 10 to 15 minutes. He goes, well, wait about 20 minutes. I go, 20 minutes? Oh. So 15 minutes, Gucci. After that, 20 minutes, it starts to act up. Okay, so fuck it. I'm gonna go to the mall, you know, shop for, I don't know, wigs or some shit, and come back out 20 or so minutes later and see if the truck acts up. I bet you it won't, because it sat for 3 days and it was fine. But I want to make sure we get to the bottom of this. So let me try that, see how it goes. I'm driving it a lot so that I can get the pump gas out of it, get E85 in it, and work on the watt shifting, which is what we really want to see. Okay, filling up with E85 so that I can get some of the watt testing done. I'm going to test a couple of things. I'm going to make sure that it upshifts in manual mode, so it automatically upshifts, so you don't have to click it up onto it. And then I'm going to test a tune that disables all torque reduction, so it slams into the shifts. That's the hope. I got everything out here ready to rock and roll so that we can get some watt testing done before this nastiness comes through. Okay, let's see if after filling up, the truck acts up. Oh, Jake. So, real quick tip as to how I do it. I'm still on the pump gas tune. I filled up on E85. There's still E85 in the lines. So, how do you know the E85 has made its way to the injectors? Well, you monitor fuel trims. So if there's pump gas in the car, the fuel trim should be plus minus 5 to 8% or so. Once the E85 gets to the lines, it's going to start trending. Oh, look at that, 30%. So the E85 has made it all the way up. Now I shut it off, flash the E85 tune, and we're going to check the fuel trims, watch them be a lot closer. So the tunes that are in here are the E85 breakover pump gas, okay, the one I was just driving on. Then E85 manual mode, breakover accelerator. Then E85 drag mode, manual mode, and the breakover accelerator. But the one I want to test out is the one you raced me on, the E85 tune labeled just E85. So we're going to do that. We're going to turn on the boost controller via the plow, which will be about 11 psi, and I'll do a 60 to 130 with the draggy, okay, and we'll see what it runs. After we test what it runs, we're going to go ahead and flash the E85 manual mode tune, and it's just been dialed in slightly. Shifts are going to be crisp at about 7,500. I won't have to do anything to the lever. It should stay in the letter M. And once I select the gear, go wide open throttle, it should just shift properly without any issues. So that's one less thing he has to do. And then see what that runs, if it runs better at all. And then I'm gonna load the tune that has torque reduction disabled. I'm saying it's gonna pop into gear pretty hardcore. And we'll see if there's anything to be gained by that, if at all. So he'll have them on his N gauge if he needs them to. So let's get it flashed. Okay, finished flashing the E85 tune on it. It's kind of up for a little stroll. Hopefully everything starts right up, because it was trimming 30% fuel in, so theoretically it should start right up. Would you look at that? All right, let's party. Let's see what this thing runs 60 to 130. Fuel trims look lovely. 1.0 is what we want to see when you are on E85. Life's looking good, so we know the E85 made its way to the combustion, injectors and the combustion, so things are good. So I'm free to go wide open throttle. Okay, we just busted off a 763. Remember guys, the best Jake has ever run in this truck, I think, is a 7.1 in pretty decent air. This is the exact same tune he raced me on. All I did was leave it in drive, put it to the wood. When it got to 60, the timer started. That's the same test I'm gonna perform across the board with the 3 tunes. So now I'm gonna go on to the other tune that I made that has sport, or basically self-shifting when the shifter is in M. I'm gonna brake boost it, right? I'm gonna select second gear. I'm gonna brake boost it and see if that does any different, if it actually upshifts when we want it to. And we'll see what the 60 to 130 is then. So let's go ahead and do that. Much slower. So I found out why it went a second slower. The snowplow button wasn't on, obviously. Oh my lord. Snowplow on. Beautiful. Now that the snowplow is on, we can do a proper test. Oh my Lord. All right. Actually, that was nice. We were able to see that the you saw the shifter position was in M the whole time, so that works. So let's similar, but in manual mode. So shifts are happening pretty good, so that means it's probably optimal right off the rip. So let's try one more tune with the firmer shifting, see if that helps. Okay, and finally we're gonna put the DM, which is like a drag mode. I just gonna see if it shifts any firmer, if it gains anything. Something tells me it's going to run the exact same number, but I'm just trying stuff out, trying to help Jake out, dial everything in. But apparently everything's been pretty dialed in from the get-go. So let me just make sure this guy loads, get you another pull, and we should be done with the video, and we'll wrap it up shortly. Left it in two-wheel drive. Dang, I felt it spin. Do it again. Hey, 10-second truck, not bad on 10 PSI. Not bad. Did you see the 60 to 130? So I guess that's how I'm going to test the 60 to 130 from now on for consistency. Again, the 60 to 130 is not affected by the dig, but it seems to really stay in a good boost range once you launch the truck, and after it's in second gear, it's singing nicely. So who knows, but it did go 730, 60 to 130 on that 10-second run in the quarter mile. Whatever. Look, I saw that the 60 to 130s were all acting the same, so there's no reason to keep ragging this truck out over and over and over. I'm gonna say, hey Jake, you ran 1090, 730, 60 to 130, so we improved on it. Sure, whatever. But yeah, honestly, this is a good example of tunes that we send out. Typically, I'm pretty damn dialed in, and I hate to make it seem like I'm being lazy or anything like that, but there's really no reason to really do stuff in person anymore if you guys get us the proper data and everything is working as it should. We can pretty much dial in your combo remotely, and this is actually pretty good proof where I went out there, the truck was running 7.6 on the tune that I sent him. Actually, I did this in person, but typically it was an email tune. I just said, here, it's our production file. The brake over accelerator self-shifting in shifter position M mode worked nicely, so at least we did that for Jake. Right now it does automatic upshifting in the M shifter position, so that's one less thing he has to worry about, clicking it into drive. And the firmer shifting tune, at least from a dig, recorded a 60 to 130 that was 2/10, actually 3/10 better than the previous. Interesting, but we'll just leave it there because I really don't want to rag Jake's truck out. This is a very nice truck. It is a fully loaded single cab, beautiful Ford Star wheels. I'm sorry, Belgian, my mistake, Belgian wheels. And I just wanted to dial it in a little bit, and hopefully he's happy with the outcome. A 10-second truck on a hot day like today, after ragging it out 5 or 6 times, he'll take that all day. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Thanks for listening. As always, keeping the content coming so that you guys can get nothing but video, and sprinkle in a live here and there. Tomorrow I'll be working on the white car, so be on the lookout for that video. Thanks for listening, guys. Talk to you later.